Very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to this session of CAD Camp. Today we are going to discuss about flexible manufacturing systems. Just let me share the screen with you. I hope I am audible. Okay, so this is the flexible manufacturing system that we are going to discuss today. It is the part of CAD/CAM subject that is being taken by Professor Deshpande, and I am going to take this particular part of this subject, that is flexible manufacturing system. So let us start. What are the things that we are going to discuss about flexible manufacturing systems? So first we will see the introduction to the FMS, that is flexible manufacturing systems. We will see some sort of history, then why we should use FMS, basic components of FMS, various FMS equipments, types of FMS, different types of layouts of FMS, some factors that are influencing the FMS layout, then flexibility in the flexible manufacturing system, applications of FMS, advantages, disadvantages, and finally the challenges with the FMS. Challenges while applying or utilizing this FMS in industry, that we are going to discuss in this particular part of the subject. Let us start with the first thing. What is flexibility in FMS? Why flexible manufacturing systems are called as flexible manufacturing system? How flexibility is essential for this current scenario of manufacturing industries. So let us start. The flexibility in manufacturing means the ability to deal with slightly or greatly mixed parts, to allow variations in parts assembly and variations in process sequence, change the production volume and change the design of certain product being manufactured. So whenever we see or discuss about manufacturing system, the first thing that comes in our mind is how this particular product or the system of manufacturing works. We know that there are three basic types of manufacturing systems that we were dealing with throughout our first year, second year, and third year. And these three manufacturing systems are mass production, batch production, and job type production. So the basic difference between these three is, in mass production, we are going to have a simple mix of product, rather one or two types of product we are going to manufacture on continuous basis. This is called as mass manufacturing. Then there is a batch type of production system where we produce parts in a batches. Suppose we have to produce the parts, the outer parts or the exterior parts of car. So what are the exterior parts of a car? So basically the skeleton of the car, then there will be doors, then there will be windshield, there will be bonnet, there will be hood, right? So these are the different types of things that comes under the manufacturing of exterior, okay, exterior of the car or an automobile, okay. Now in this case, suppose I want to produce this type of product. So what I am going to do, I am going to manufacture the windshields in a particular batch. Then I will manufacture the doors in particular batch. Then I will go with manufacturing of bonnet in particular batches. Okay, so this is how the batch type production is going to work. Mass type production, it is a continuous type of production where one or two or very less type of product mix is used for manufacturing, right? Now, in this is the second type, we are going to manufacture the products in batches, one batch, two batch, three batch, as per the requirement. And in third type of production, which is called a job type of production or job shop type of production, where what we do, we generally utilize this type of production system for manufacturing a special kind of product. Like we want to produce or we want to manufacture ship, okay, or we want to manufacture say aeroplane. So in that case, what we are doing, we are assigning all the resources that we have to the system, to the manufacturing facility, and manufacturing of only one system or one product is going to be take place. And what we have in that, we can have n number of parts for that product. For example, for an aeroplane to manufacture, we might require 3000 4000 different types of parts, okay, and there will be a special machinery for this assembling and joining and all these things, okay. So this is called a job type of production. So basically job type of production is used where the special cases of manufacturing of product is required. So this is how we basically know about manufacturing systems. Now there is a part of flexibility. Now I have discussed these three types of production system. Now, what do you do? What you get to know about the flexibility? What we know about flexibility from this is that the flexibility in mass production is very less, because one or two types of products we are going to manufacture, because this is a continuous type of production. In the second type, that is batch production, what we are expecting some amount of flexibility, because we are making this production in batches, different batches. So this is the case where flexibility is increased, okay, but the volume of the production is getting decreased. Whereas in the first case, that is mass production, the volume of the production was quite high as compared to the batch type of production. Now, in the third type, the flexibility of doing a job or flexibility of manufacturing a product has been increased or decreased. That you have to understand. In this third case, the flexibility is not exactly going to increase in very high volume, but the flexibility of assembling the part, the flexibility of working on the product has been increased, okay. Now the amount of product or the production that we are getting from this third type of production is very less. It is one or two rather, okay. At a time we can build a one ship or one or two small aeroplane like this. These special cases we are discussing. So in that case, the flexibility that we are getting in the manufacturing area, that is very high, the flexibility to manufacture, but flexibility in changing the job production, suppose I want to improve the smaller or the bigger part or the smaller part, in some sense I have to design that part and I am going to change that part. So in that case, in mass production, I don't have that flexibility. In job type production, I have less type of flexibility. And in final job type of production, I will be having very high flexibility where I can change the design itself. So this is how flexibility of manufacturing is going to change during these different types of systems we are using. Now, what is the flexible manufacturing system allows us? The flexible manufacturing system gives us another set of manufacturing area where I can change the product whenever I want. Whenever I feel that this product is not going to be work out, or if the customers or the users of the product have given feedback that this part of this product is not good, we have to change that. So suppose the management or the company authority organization has said that this has changed, this has to be changed. So what we can do in flexible manufacturing system, I have that flexibility that I can change the job completely or a partial part of it to the extent of design. Okay, then this is how flexible manufacturing system allows us flexibility in the manufacturing. Okay, now what is FMS? The standard definition. A flexible manufacturing is an automated machine cell. Keep these words in mind, automated. We are using automation in flexible manufacturing system. These are machine cells. These are cells. So cell is a particular type of area where different types of smaller machines are arranged in such a way that they are automated and they are going to manufacture the product for us. Now, this is consisting of a group of processing workstations. This could also contain group of processing workstations. There are workstations, as you know, on the assembly line, there are different types of workstation where at one workstation, different type of system is being applied, and another workstation, different type of system is being applied. So basically, when we use FMS, it is consisting of group of processing workstation. There will be a group of particular processing workstations. They are interconnected with automated material handling. So interconnection is needed. Also, there will be automated material handling. So the material handling from raw material to the final product is being handled by automation. Okay, and the storage system. Obviously, the storage system will be with the help of computer control system, the storage and material handling and the automation will be carried out. So basically, the definition tells us about the basic thing that flexible manufacturing system offers us. So let us read it once again. A flexible manufacturing system is a automated machine cell consisting of a group of processing workstations interconnected with automated material handling and storage system, and it is controlled by integrated computer control system. So this is called as flexible manufacturing system. See, this is a flexible manufacturing system shown as a diagram. So if you could observe that this is the raw material storage. Okay. Then we are having CNC machine 1 where input is here, output is here. It is having tools for the different operations. Then we are having CNC machine 2, CNC machine 3. Same input, output with tools. Same configuration of machines. So these are the machine cells. Okay. Now you have this raw material storage. From this, the material is going to get from here to the CNC1 for first operation or second or two operation or three operation. It depends upon the operations. For the instance, let us consider that there are only three operations to be carried out. So on CNC machine 1, we are going to get only one operation. So from raw material storage, the material is going to be produced as input to the CNC1. The first processing is carried out, the output is taken out here, and it is going to be given to the CNC2 for second operation. Output is taken out here, it is given in to the CNC3 for third and last operation, and then it is taken out. Okay. Now, how this material handling from one station to another station is carried out? It is carried out by AGV, automated guided vehicles, or in some cases, we can have conveyor systems. Okay. Now, the conveyor systems will be using by using a robotic arm, the raw material is being kept over here on this conveyor system. It is going to be taken here with the conveyor system. Then another robotic arm will pick up that raw material and put in the CNC machine. That product or the semi-finished product will be taken out with the help of that robotic arm and put on this conveyor system. Again, same procedure is going to happen here and here. So this is how this material handling system is automated by the use of AGV, that is automated guided vehicles, or the conveyor belts, which are controlled by computer. So you can see that computer control is here, and these things and all these things are interconnected so that the computer can control each one of these. There is a temporary storage area. Suppose in some cases the first operation is happening here, second is here, third is here. Again, we want to have that operation number 4, but it is on the CNC number 1. So how it is going to, how the material, semi-finished material is going to be provided to CNC machine. So in that case, it would be stored in the temporary storage area. And then when the batch or the type of products are enough processed, then this from this temporary storage area, this raw material, or sorry, this semi-finished material is again taken to the CNC machine 1 for the next operation. So this is how this temporary storage area is going to help us. Then loading unloading session, where loading and unloading of the raw material and final products, because the raw material is storage is here, so someone has to take the raw material from the market and take it to the raw material storage. So loading and unloading of raw material as well as the finished product coming from this side is done here with the help of, sometimes with the help of robotic arms, sometimes with the help of automated system. Cranes are used in that case. Okay, so this is how flexible manufacturing systems are being implemented. Okay, so this is a basic structure. You will get to know whenever you see this particular diagram with focus. History of FMS. Who developed FMS? The FMS was patented in 1965 by Theo Williamson, who made numerically controlled equipments. So a person named Theo Williamson, who was a research and development department from, he was from R&D department, and he was involved in making NC machines or NC equipment, numerically controlled equipment. So basically, when you know about NC, CNC, so there are 3 types of machines generally used. There are traditional machines like lathe machine, milling machine that we have in our workshop that we could have seen in some industries. These are traditional machines. Then there are NC machines, which are we call it semi-automatic machines, because they are not fully automatic. So they are semi-automatic, numerically controlled equipments or numerically controlled machines. Then there is a third type, which is called as CNC machine, which is completely automated. Like whenever we put a component or raw material in the CNC machine, we get the final product without manual intervention. So these are the 3 types of machines. So NC is the second type of machine that we have discussed. So he has developed this type of equipments and he has patented this FMS in 1965. Okay. So examples of NC equipments are like CNC lathes or mills, which is called various types of FMS. So basically, we know that there are traditional machines, there are NC machines, and there are CNC machines. After CNC, we have DNC type of machines, okay, direct numerically controlled, that you might have learned up till now. Then why to use FMS? Why there is a need to use flexible manufacturing system? Sometimes external changes such as change in the product design and production system is necessary. Sometimes suppose you have a product, you have manufactured it, and for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, your product is in market, everybody is purchasing. And now what happens? Some of the competitors of yours has taken same type of product with increased features. Now people are purchasing that. So you observe that this type of feature can be implemented in our product. So what you decide? You decide to change the product design. Okay. Or you can have the system, production system change, because you felt or you realized that with the change in the production system, I can get more profit. So basically, the main point of discussion of all these things is the profit to the manufacturer, because if he is getting the profit, he can divide that profit to the society or workers or whoever it is needed with the help of taxes and everything. Okay, so basic point that everyone thinks is the profit. Now if he feels or thinks that this production system, the current production system I am using, is not enough to get more profit, if I implement another type of system in that and I am going to get more profit, if he is convinced about that, then he has the choice of getting the change in the production system. So change in the product design and production system can be carried out with the help of FMS. So whenever there is a need of this kind of things, FMS helps us. Okay. Then optimizing the manufacturing cycle time. You know, manufacturing cycle time start with raw material intervention or raw material, taking the raw material and completing the final product. So this is called as manufacturing cycle time. So manufacturing cycle time, whenever it is less, the more the profit. Manufacturing cycle time reduction is of very much importance in any industry. So suppose you require 1 minute to manufacture a particular product, and for few days or few months or years you are using that same system, and by the time you realize that the manufacturing cycle time can be reduced by say 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 15 seconds, this is very huge, because the ultimate cycle time and ultimate production will depend on that. So basically, by counting or compounding this 10 seconds per product, you can just save lakhs of rupees. So optimization of this manufacturing cycle time can also be done by using FMS. So whenever there is a requirement of optimizing the manufacturing cycle time, we can go for FMS. Reduced production cost, as I have told, production cost could be reduced by automation and different types of things. Overcoming internal changes like breakdown, etc. So breakdowns are the necessary part of an industry. So whenever there is a breakdown, suppose you have assembly line and at the middle of it, one machine is broken down, it is not working. So what happens? There will be a bottleneck. The parts which are coming from the back end are getting stored there, and it creates a bottleneck. So this is very disgusting or messy type of thing that any industry can uh, feel or experience. So they have this policy that if there is a breakdown, they have to rectify it immediately, and they have to put it on the work as soon as possible, because everybody in the industry will be shifted to focus. Their only focus is to take this breakdown machine out of the breakdown and make it work. So this is why it is very important. So breakdown is very much you can say it is a very much hated thing by any industrialist or any production floor officer. So we can overcome these breakdowns and etc. by using FMS. Okay. Now there are basic components of flexible manufacturing system. What are the basic components? Workstations where your product is being manufactured. These are called as workstations. Then automated material handling and storage system. We have seen one diagram where CNC1, CNC2, CNC3, these are the workstations, and there is AGV or roller type of system where material handling and storage system is to be carried out. And last one is the computer control system. Since this is an automated system, there is very less human intervention in the whole production system. We require a computer control system which is very you can say updated type or upgraded type. Okay, so these are the three basic components of the system. Okay, let us move. The next slide, the flexible manufacturing system. Flexible systems is consisting of workstations. You can see here what workstation is consisting of. It is consisting of CNC manufacturing machines. So CNC machines are the essential part of flexible manufacturing system. You cannot use flexible manufacturing system with traditional machines, traditional human operated lathe machine, etc. You have to use CNC machine because you have to interconnect all this system to the computer numerical control, because you require a real-time feedback from each and every system. That is why this is the CNC machines, and these types of advanced machines are the requirement of flexible system, flexible manufacturing system. So workstations are generally CNC machine. Then there is material handling. There are robots, there are transfer equipments, there are automatic storage and retrieval equipment. Storage and retrieval that we have seen. Transfer is AGV, robots or robotic hand, and material handling, putting those parts from one system to another system, input, output, that we have seen. And there is a computer control system. This is a real-time control system because you require a real-time work to be carried out. So this controls different activities on the shop floor of flexible manufacturing system. So this is how you can explain the FMS system in the exam if it is asked. See, this is one type of flexible manufacturing system. You can see there is a control room from where the total control of the system is being carried out. There is a wash station, there is a machining station, there are AGVs, automated guided vehicles, which are following a path which is drawn on the floor. You can see here. Then central chip and coolant system, it is just a requirement. Load and unload station, there is a fixture build station. You require sometimes new fixtures and all these things. Then there is a tool setter, storage station. Okay. Then there is a part view station under mezzanine, or you have to take the responsibility of the parts that you have manufactured. So you have to take the quality check. Okay. Then there is coordinate measurement system. Sometimes you require these types of machines also. So basically, this is a flexible manufacturing system which is shown in the isometric view for better understanding. Okay. Then there are types of FMS, different types of FMS. 4 different types of FMS we are going to see. The first one is sequential FMS. Second one is random FMS, dedicated FMS, engineered FMS. Now, by the name or title itself, you can just have a glimpse of what it is. Sequential, there will be some sequence. Random, okay. So whenever there is random requirements of operation, you can have this type of FMS. Dedicated FMS, so basically it is dedicated for a particular task. This is how we can have a glimpse or knowledge about this type of FMS. And engineered FMS is a quite special type of FMS which is required. That is why it is called as engineered. Engineered as per the specification or as per the requirements. Now let us see in detail what is sequential FMS. It manufactures one piece part batch type. One piece part batch type. So basically batch production that I have told you, this is called as, this is used in the sequential FMS. And planning and preparation is carried out for the next part, next piece part batch type to be manufactured. So basically in batch type of production, we have to use sequential FMS. So sequence 1, 2, 3, like by batch number 1, 2, 3. This is how this FMS is going to work. Random FMS, it manufactures any random mix of piece part types at any one time. So this is a very huge type of or very advanced or complex type of FMS, because this has the ability to manufacture any type of product from your mix of product. Now you know the mix of product, right? Mix of product means the type of product that you have the ability to manufacture. Okay, suppose you can manufacture 10 different types of product in your industry. Okay, now this is a mix of product you have. Now in that, from these 10 types of product, it is not necessary that you are going to manufacture all these at all the time. You sometimes you require 2 products to be manufactured, sometimes you require 3, sometimes you require 10, sometimes you require 8. So like that you are having different mix of products that you can manufacture. Now this random FMS will work on, this has the capability to manufacture 10 different types of product at given point of time. So suppose today you want to manufacture 3 different types of product, you assign the task to the FMS and it will make it. Tomorrow you require 10 different types of manufacturing, it will make it. So this is how random FMS is going to work. There is a dedicated FMS, it is continually manufacturers for extended period the same but limited mix of piece part batch time. Again, whenever we have very limited mix of products or pieces of products, in that case dedicated FMS can be used. So 1 or 2 different types of parts or products can be manufactured with the help of dedicated FMS. That FMS is completely dedicated to manufacture that only 1 or 2 parts. This is how we can know about dedicated FMS. Engineered FMS, it manufactures the same mix of part types throughout its lifetime. Now engineered FMS is used in very special conditions where it is assigned, suppose 3 different types of products. It is assigned 3 different types of products. Throughout its lifetime, it is not going to change. So that is why it is called as engineered. Okay. So like engineers, it is adamant one. It is not going to change. So manufactures the same mix of parts throughout its lifetime. Now when the lifetime is over, what happens? After the lifetime is over, this is going to change. The engineering of that FMS system is going to be changed. So this is how it is going to work. Now layouts of FMS. Progressive or line type of FMS, loop type of FMS, ladder type of FMS, open field and robot sensor type. You will get to know how this looks. Progressive or line type. See, this is the progressive layout. The first diagram over here. Starting work parts are taken from left side to the right side. Loading machine or loading is carried out here. These are the work parts. Then machining 1, machining 2, machining 3, machining 4, and unloading of the completed parts. So red indicates uncompleted part, green indicates completed parts. Okay, so this is just a line type. Okay, progressive or line type, linear type. Okay, this is the material handling system or part transportation system, and this is the workflow. Okay, so this is how this progressive layout or line type of system can be understood. Loop type. Now see, we have seen this type of layout. This is a loop. It just goes in the loop. Now see, the starting work parts are red, which are loaded on the conveyor belt, and this is going to go in clockwise direction. Then it goes to first machine, input, output, second machine, input, output, third machine, input, output, fourth machine, input, output, input, output. And last, there will be inspection and audit or quality check of the product. Okay, if it is passed, then it is going to be unloaded from here. If it is failed, then it is going to be, if it can be retreated or remanufactured, then it is again sent to the machining part or it is rejected from here. Okay, this is a loop type of system works. This is how. Okay, ladder type. See, this is a ladder type. So in this case, ladder like a system is created. Okay, then starting work parts are taken from here. goes to here, then here, and it comes from here. For first machine, suppose this product requires only one machining operation, so it will go from here and like here. Second product which require second different type of operation, it goes from here, it doesn't go here, it goes here and it comes here, second operation, and it comes from here. Similarly third, similarly fourth. So this is how this type of ladder type of layout is going to be worked. Then finally completed part, open field layout. This is just an open type of field. Okay. With the AGVs are very highly used in this type of systems. See, starting work parts are taken from here to the AGVs. AGVs take this from here, and they can go randomly to any machine, machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, machine 4, machine 5. Okay, so any type, anywhere in this system, this machine or this AGV can go. It can go here, 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 in this system, and on this system there are robotic hands. Sometimes people are waiting their workers. They can just unload and load. If we are not using human intervention, so robotic arms will be used. Okay, so this is just an open field type of layout. So these are the different types of layouts for FMS. This is a robot-centered layout. Robot-centered layout. See, these are the parts. Okay, and this is a machine tool, work table 1, work table 2. The robot is going to use this robotic arm, or robot is going to just decide itself that which part requires this operation, which part requires this operation. So it will just keep moving this unfinished part to the these work tables or machines, and removing from there and taking out from there. So suppose there is a storage thing provided here, it will just put the finished part here. Okay, this is a robot centered layout. In the center there is a robot, so that is why we can call it as robot centered layout. And these are the factors influencing the flexible manufacturing system layouts. What are these factors? Availability of raw material. Basically, these are the different things that you have already seen for different types of manufacturing systems. So these are just general type of things. So for example, availability of raw material, which type of raw material you are using, that affects on the layout, which type of layout to be used. Then proximity to the market. From, suppose you are manufacturing in Solapur and your customers are in whole country, and your first destination of providing this product is Pune or Hyderabad, then the market proximity of your customer will be, if you are selling your product directly, okay, then you have to see that your proximity to the market is very less, because the person in the northern area of our country is not going to directly purchase on the time. So proximity of the market from your area and to the market area, it is very important. So on that thing, you can also decide which type of layout is going to help me, because I don't have much time, so I have to make it quick. So this is how proximity to the market works. What type of transport facilities you have, that is also matters. Then availability of efficient and cheap labor. Now FMS, we are saying that it is automatic, but it is not fully automatic. Human intervention is lessened, but it is not completely omitted. It is not completely, it is not without any, it is not like that. No human intervention is not there, it is not the condition. So some human intervention has to be there. And suppose you can have a cheap labor, then you can just go from one system of layout to the another system, which can make you a better product with cheap cost. Then availability of power, water and fuel resources. Atmospheric and climatic conditions. You are working in hot condition, cold conditions, rainy conditions. So that is also important. Social and recreational facilities, business and economic conditions of your industry or your area. These are the factors that affects on the FMS layout, choosing the FMS layout. Application of FMS. Many a times where these systems are applied, the metal cutting machining, where the metal cutting is done, metal forming is done, assembling is done, joining like welding or gluing type of industries, then surface treatment industries, then inspection thing and testing industries. These are the things where FMS can be applied. See, these are some of the examples of FMS systems. How, see, this is AGV is going to work. How this is a simple model. This is robotic arm, robot-centered cell. Okay, so this is how this industry look like. There are advantages to reduce the setup and queue time. FMS is important. It gives advantage. We can improve the efficiency of production. We can reduce the time for product completion from raw material to final product. We can utilize human worker as better. Improve the product routing. Routing means from raw material to first operation, two operation, three operation. Okay, that routing is we can what we can improve with the help of FMS. Produce variety of items under one roof. So this FMS gives us flexibility because it is called as flexible manufacturing system, right? So flexibility gives us variety of different products under one roof. Then we can improve product quality because it is automated system. CNC types of systems are used. The product quality could be improved. Serve a variety of vendors simultaneously. You can have different types of vendors which you are requiring, and you can serve different types of vendors at a time. So this is a very advantageous thing of FMS. Produce more product more quickly. You can just produce the product more quickly, which is very important type of advantage. There are disadvantages also. The first one is expensive. It is expensive because robotic and AGV and all these things are there. Then very substantial pre-planning activities needed because it is a logic-based system. You have to program the CNC machine, you have to program the AGVs, you have to program all these things. And suppose you have not programmed it clearly or correctly, then there will be issues. So very substantial type of pre-planning activities are to be done. And this is a very sophisticated manufacturing system. You have to take care of it very carefully because these are the very sophisticated, like CNC machine. They require a certain temperature. Okay, so these kind of things are there. So these are some of the disadvantages of FMS. Now let us compare the flexible manufacturing system with conventional or traditional manufacturing system. Now setup time for flexible is defined, whereas for conventional machines, it varies. Work in process for flexible system, it is low. For conventional system, it is high. Flexibility of flexible manufacturing system, obviously high, it has low. The scrap or the rejection material in the flexible system is low, and in conventional system it is unpredictable because it depends on the different types of errors that are occurring, like human error, atmospheric or environmental error, machine error. Okay, so these type of things which are unpredictable many a times. That is why it is called as unpredictable in conventional system because of more human intervention. Labor requirement for this type of system is low, for this type of system is very high. Equipment cost is again high for this particular system, and for this system it is low. But for short term thing we can call it as low, and for short term thing we can call it as high, because if you consider the long run of 10, 15, 20 years, then this is the high cost of equipment may give you very good results. Equipment return of interest low, it is very high. Plant return of interest very high, low. QAing of the products is very low. QAing means lining the product for next procedures or processes. It is very low. Here it is very high due to some bottlenecks or breakdowns, all these things. Okay, and automation in this system is at a very high level, and in this conventional system it is very low level. And last one is the challenges with flexible manufacturing system. Determining a flexible manufacturing system, the best production system for your company. Your company is from Solapur, suppose, and you want to implement, then you have to see that different things that I have already discussed about how to select FMS. Okay, now it takes a substantial, you can say rather very experienced person to implement a FMS type of production system, because it is very high at very high cost. So in that case, it is very much of importance to decide whether it is required or not. Then possible expansion cost associated with the implementing FMS, because expansion of the present system you are going to do. You are not just like a new entrepreneur or new businessman and you are just starting your business with FMS. This may not work for you. So this could be a disastrous decision. So in that case, you have to see the expansion cost of whatever the thing you have with the current system you are using. So these are the different types of challenges you can face. And this is how we have came to know that FMS works out. Okay, so let us just take a quick recap of what we have discussed today. We have discussed introduction of flexible system, flexibility in the FMS, what is meant by FMS, how does this look, history, why we should require FMS, basic components of FMS, its flowchart or diagram where you can explain the FMS, one diagram, different types, sequential, random, dedicated and engineered, different types of layout, progressive or line type, this one, and loop type, ladder type and open field type, and last one is robot centered layout. Then there are factors influencing the FMS layout. We have seen different factors. Applications, generally where FMS is used. Some examples of FMS, advantages of FMS, disadvantages of FMS, comparison of FMS with conventional machining, challenges with FMS, and this is the end. So this is how this particular thing is going to be discussed. Now, thank you for your attention, and I will take your leave now. Thank you.